All right, guys, we are out on the ENGWE M20. Now, this is a brand new bike that ENGWE just came out with. And in this video, we're pretty much just gonna take it to work. And I have not charged this bike since we did our last review. If you guys can see the display, we got 9 miles on both of these batteries. It does say it's at a full charge, but that's just because the bike's been sitting at the house for the last couple days. But now we're really gonna see what type of range we're gonna get. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, we're probably gonna be down 3 battery bars by the time we get back, because we're gonna do another 13 or 14 miles to and from work, and we're just gonna see how it goes. Now, you guys probably wanna know some information before we do this range test and just have a good old time riding to work. And I'm 160 pounds, and the tires are aired up to about 16 or 17 PSI. They go up to 20. So the bike feels very comfortable to me. The only thing is it feels a little too squishy. I wish I would have aired them up to 20, but I did not have enough time before I left. Now, one thing I did not talk about this bike in the review, and I totally forgot because I did like 5 different intros and then I picked the best intro that I liked for the bike. But this bike, if you get it with a single battery setup, it comes with a nice bag that will sit right here. So I'll put it up on the screen right now so you guys can check it out. And it's pretty awesome. It's like a fake carbon fiber. And you can put your belongings in there, like your phone and your wallet, your keys, all that kind of stuff. You'd be a lot faster than me, Honda. I'd rather let you go. We got there at the exact same time. And technically, you're supposed to let the person on the right go before you. So anyway. But yeah, so the bag is pretty nice. I can't install it because if you do get the dual battery setup, then there's nothing you can do with that bag. You can't put it anywhere. And that's kind of why I forgot to put it in my review video. The company actually asked me too. They're like, hey, you didn't talk about the bag. I was like, that's my fault. But I was gonna do a second video on this bike, which we're doing right now, and that's why I included it. This is where we got the flat last time, so I'm trying to be very careful on where I ride because these tires are 100% the same ones as the Jansno X50. And we got a flat on that, and that sucked, and please don't pull out in front of me. I hate when people just look at me like it's my fault, like I'm the problem, when I'm just like riding my bike like normal. And we're on a street legal bike, by the way. I would just want to say that. But anyways, back to what I was saying, I just don't want to get a flat. That's what I'm really afraid of. We got the flat right here last time, and that sucked to ass. What I'm really excited for is tonight, though, we get to check out these headlights. This is the first bike that I've ever seen come with a dual headlight setup, so that's gonna be dope. I didn't get to adjust them. I did notice that even though the bike was on the kickstand when I was looking at the angle of the lights, they are more crooked than ever onto the side, so I really wanted to go and fix it, but I never had time to do it. So they might not be perfect, is what I'm saying. All right, I'm gonna ride in the middle of the road. Because I gotta turn here. Oh my God, look at all this traffic. This is gonna be fun as hell. Oh my God, big pothole. Another thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that this company, ENGWE, they're super cool. I like their products. I like their Engine Pro bike. That was one of my favorite bikes I had after I put the BMX handlebars on there. But they just randomly sent this bike to me. I didn't ask for the bike. I didn't expect the bike to come. All of a sudden, I was out in the garage doing a review for another bike, and all of a sudden they dropped off the package, and then they sent me an email stating, hey, do you want to review this bike? And I never saw it, and I never replied to it, and they just arrived at my door. Like, I was like, okay, I guess. And so I was talking to them, and they showed me all the specs, and I questioned them on the specs because it said 25 miles per hour. And I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. And they said, yeah, this bike only does 25 miles per hour. And I said, well, that's a lot slower than bikes that I normally would review. I would have probably said no, but you already sent it out, so I'll do a review. But I would like to get paid commission, blah, blah. So, you know, we kind of worked some stuff out, and then that's when I did the review. But the thing is after I got my review done, they changed the website to 28 miles per hour. But from my video review, I didn't talk about how slow the bike went. I actually GPS'd it to see how fast it went. And the fastest speed I ever got GPS was 26.9, which is basically 27 miles per hour. It's only 0.1 off. But realistically, like riding this bike around, you're only gonna be doing like 26 miles an hour. Like if you guys notice, this is 100% accurate. It might be off like 0.3 or 0.4 mile per hour, but that is 98% accurate. So I'm gonna go off this display. So when it says I'm doing 25, I'm doing 25. When it says I'm doing 26, I'm doing 26. Never seen 28 miles per hour on this bike, unfortunately. So If you're looking at a bike that you want to hit 28 max all day long, it's not gonna happen. I'm sorry, I hate to be that guy, but you know, I know you guys watch my channel because I'm straight up honest with you guys. A lot of companies don't like it, but that's how we also stay in business too. You know, we have a lot of companies reach out to us because I got the following of you guys, you know, looking for honest reviews. A lot of people aren't honest out here. Woo! Oh, it's a little bumpy over here, but you know, the bike's taking it decently well. The seat isn't the most comfortable seat I've ever been on. Like, I'm not a big fan of the seat, if I'm being straight up honest. I do like the suspension though. The suspension feels good. I don't like that there is no preload adjustment right here because I do have a little bit of sag. So every time I kind of hit stuff, I feel like it's a little too soft right at the start. And then it feels okay like once you kind of get into it. But it's always kind of like slightly moving up and down for me depending on like my weight, like if I'm too forward or too far back. Woo! Turning on this thing's not bad. We got those all-terrain tires on there so we can go off-roading and be on the street, and they feel perfectly fine for here. I'm not having any problems. Now let's see how it goes uphill now that we're finally doing this test, because I didn't do this in my review. So 22 miles per hour. It feels like it's going to start going slower. It's struggling. But we went down another battery bar. So 21 miles per hour coming up this thing. So we're down to 3 battery bars. That honestly might just be because we were coming uphill and it's using a lot of power to get up there. So it might stay at 3 for a while now, I think anyways. Let's hope it does, because I didn't bring the charger. So we're not going to be charging this bike, but I would say if you're going to use a throttle only on this bike, you should definitely be able to get like anywhere from 30 to 35 miles of range, and that's being realistic. You can double it if you just put it in a pedal assist number 1. Holy crap, there's so much stuff over here. Hold on. You put it in pedal assist number 1, you pedal the whole time, it should be perfectly fine. I don't think I'm gonna make this. This bike's not fast enough. Go, go, go. I can make it now. Oh, I'm going. Nope, I'm making it. Not waiting. I ran a red light, give me a ticket. It's more dangerous to sit there on a bike and someone come behind you not paying attention, or I just sit at the light forever and then I actually have to run a red light because it's not gonna pick me up. Or I'd have to go all the way to the sidewalk, like jump on the sidewalk, push the crosswalk button. Pain in the ass. I ain't trying to do all that. Now, let's see how it is coming up this thing. Woo! Man. Felt like a roller coaster. And real quick, I want to tell you, we did jump up another battery bar, so now we're at 4 battery bars. So like I said, I think we're going to stay at 3 for a while once we get closer to work, and it's probably going to be like that a little bit after we leave. I should use my horn. If you guys didn't see my review video on this bike, man. The company actually sent me an email after watching my video, and they said that they are going to update the horn. I don't know how soon it's going to be, because I do have a $200 off coupon on this bike, and that works for both the single battery and the dual battery. So if this thing is $16.99, you guys can pick this bike up for $1,400 using my coupon code, and it's only gonna last for I think a week. I think that's what they told me. So once you guys see this video, you guys need to act fast if you guys are interested in this bike. I do not get any commission for you guys using the coupon code because they didn't give me my own coupon code, which sucks. I really thought they were gonna give me my own, but they didn't. But I think I do get a little bit of commission if you guys use the link to go to their website and then you buy the bike, even though you use the coupon code. But I guess we'll find out, because I've had some issues with ENGWE in the past where my coupon codes are $300 off, and all of a sudden people said they weren't working, and then I wasn't getting paid. So it sucked. And here's a Target shopping cart. I thought those couldn't leave the parking lot. All right, so we didn't get too much of a running start. Thanks, buddy. So let's see how it does going up this hill. This hill's a little bit more steeper. That could be me, but I keep playing around with e-bikes. Glad that guy didn't blow coal at me. All right, so yeah, we're down to 3 battery bars because we're obviously coming uphill, but man, this is one of the slower bikes that I've had getting up to speed. So 18 miles an hour is what I saw, and now we're gonna start leveling out, so it should start going up like 19, 20. Man, yeah, this bike isn't that fast. Like, it's nice and smooth and comfortable, and it's hard to sell this bike. I mean, the biggest things are gonna be, they put a lot of effort into the headlights, which we'll see later in a bit. And then they put a lot of effort into having a dual battery setup with a controller, which you don't have to charge these both at the same time. So That is a con, I will say. Let's talk about that really quick. I'm getting a little sidetracked. They only give you one charger, even though you get the dual battery setup. So you have to charge these separately unless you're gonna go out and buy a separate charger to charge both batteries at the same time. But you don't have to charge these batteries at the same time. You can fully charge the top one, and let's say you didn't get to charge the bottom one, you can still run off of both batteries. There is a controller under here, it's very smart. You're not gonna ruin your setup or anything like that. Most bikes, when you charge them, they'll charge at the same time. I don't think this one does it. I know my Super 73 does that, but that's because they have a specific BMS in there that allows that to happen. I don't think this one's like that. I think you have to charge these both separately, so just something you have to keep in mind, but you don't have to charge them both to full. You're not gonna blow up any of your batteries or have any issues. All right, so we did 15 miles on the bike so far, 14.9. So it's not terrible for being down 3 battery bars. So I actually might be wrong on the range. I think we might only have 2 battery bars by the time I get home, since we got another 6 or 7 miles to go. But we'll definitely put over 20 miles on this bike, and we'll see where we end up at. All right, guys, so I'm at work. Give me 9 or 10 hours, and then we'll check out the headlight setup and the brake light setup. Another thing, too, is this bike doesn't have turn signals, which, I mean, it's completely fine with me in this price range. It's not too bad. But just something to keep in mind, you do not have turn signals on this bike. But we'll show you all these lights here in a second. I'll be back. Okay, I am locked out of the store. I just left. What a day. We'll probably talk about it a little bit later. But for right now, I told you guys I was going to show you guys the headlights and all that stuff. So we're not in a pitch black area yet, but there's a path we take on all our videos. You guys probably already know if you guys have already seen my videos. And we'll check out how these look in a pitch black street. We'll turn the lights off and on and kind of check that out. Since I turned the bike on though, it did go up to full bars again. I feel like once we put another mile on this bike, it's probably gonna go back down to 3. But every single time this bike sits, it always goes back up to 100%, even though that's, of course, not accurate. We got 14.9 miles on the bike. And if that is actually accurate, that's 15 miles on both of these batteries. And that's without pedaling at all. Now you can come in here and you can hit the little indicators on the battery. These say they're full too. This one down here, that one said it's full as well, if you guys can see that. They're both on, they're both connected. I made sure both switches are good. So let's get my gloves on and let's get out there and check this bike out. Oh, and another thing too on this bike is that it always starts in pedal assist 0. I don't like that. I mean, I guess it's a good safety thing for someone that's getting into electric bikes and they're kind of new, and you don't want someone to turn it on, just, you know, hit it and it just takes off on them. I get that, but I wish it like memorized where I last had it, or at least start on 1, so I don't go like this all the time and I'm like, wait, the bike's not moving, what the heck's going on? So that's just something, a critique of mine, I guess I should say. Oh, my nuts. It's not the end of the world, it's just, I would like to see something change. All right, so these are the daytime running lights. I need to actually turn the headlights on, so there we go. All right, I mean, I can see for right now, but there's lights all around me right now, so can't really tell. It looks super wide though, I'll say that. These definitely look like they have a wide pattern already. Oh, these cars are gonna be pissed at me. Oh, he's gonna run it, he's gonna run it. Dude, that was completely red, bro. That was absolutely red. Just like your Mustang. Okay. So let's get out here and go. So yeah, we haven't even done a mile yet and we're already down 1 battery bar. It's likely that's gonna happen. It's all good. So let's see how these headlights look. It's not completely dark over here, but it is dark enough to kind of get an idea. And all right, I will say that they're lighting up a lot better than most lights I've seen. I give it that. Now we are only doing like 24 miles per hour. Now when we come up this, I bet you we're only gonna probably be doing like 18 or 17 miles per hour, because we definitely lost a lot of our top speed. And I can see our battery bar is probably about to go down right now as the motor has to work and struggle. Yeah, so now we're down to 3 battery bars. There we go. That makes sense to me. Oh, what the heck was that? That sounded like something I'd get a flat for. All right, so I'm gonna wait for all this traffic to go, and then it's gonna be my turn to go. Go, bike, go. See, this is what I'm talking about. A faster bike would have been a little bit more safer, so I could have got out of the way, and I almost ran into that. Now these headlights are very good. I saw it because of the headlight, but I definitely almost ran into that. Some of the other e-bikes I have, man, I would have ran that shit over. All right, so these are how the lights look. Let me, this is gonna be hard to do now that I think about it, because the daytime running light stays on completely the whole entire time, so I can't get it pitch black unless I completely turn off the bike. I just thought about that. And when I turn the bike off, it's gonna go back down, the pedal is at 0, and then I gotta go through the settings again to get it back up to 5. Damn it. All right, but anyways, you guys can see how this beam is. Super nice and wide. I love that. It is definitely bright. I would say this is probably a good solid like 8 out of 10 headlight for a bike without having to switch it and everything like that. And also it looks cool, you know, you gotta give it that. So this is how just a daytime running light looks. You're not gonna be able to be seen at all with this light. So you're definitely gonna have to turn the headlights on. And real quick, you do have 2 adjustments. So I can adjust the top one separately, or I can adjust them both together. I did tighten it really tight, so the bracket that moves both the lights, I can move that, but I can't move them individual right now just because I would have to loosen up the bolts. But so check this out. Look how high that goes. And then this is obviously a little bit lower so I can see right in front of me. That looks pretty good, but that's pretty high. So let's see, without the light, with the light. That's pretty nice. Not gonna complain. And I'm actually really digging this brake light. The brake light is bright, man. I know that's coming across my GoPro as hella bright. Look at that, it's holding on to the brake right there. This will be seen by everybody. Bike trails, pedestrians, traffic, stuff like that. They're gonna know when you're braking. I like this brake light. It's actually really good. The only bad thing about my brake light is it came slightly crooked. Like it's like this. And I actually try to straighten it out as much as possible. If you did drill the holes in the back just ever so slightly bigger, you can move it if you want, or you could try to bend the metal bracket behind, but I didn't really mess around with it too much. But all right, that gives us a good idea of this headlight. So pretty much the pros on this bike is gonna be the dual battery setup for a very good price, especially using my coupon code to get $200 off. It's $1,400. So regular price $1,600, my discount code $1,600, and that's with the dual battery setup. Now, if you get the single battery, you obviously get that bag we talked about, but I would highly recommend you get the dual battery setup because 13 amp hours is garbage for one battery. You're definitely gonna want both if you want good range and you don't wanna have range anxiety or anything like that. And then the other thing that's good about this bike is the headlights. Those are probably the 2 things they focused on. Everything else, I'm gonna be honest, is a little cheap. The bike feels cheap. The suspension in the front is not that great. The seat is fine for me. I mean, it should be fine for probably 20, 30 miles or so. Anything after that, I don't know, it just depends on how you're built and everything. The seat is not the best to me, but it's doable. It's not the worst seat I've ever been on. The cable management to me could be better. The front looks fine. I give them a pass on the front, but all the cables do not go inside the bike. They're zip tied underneath this top tube right here. So you see all the cables outside of the bike. It's not a clean setup like most bikes are, which I was a little disappointed, but I can see where they spent the money on this bike to have, you know, this is a good feature, but then cut price at other points to have like a good price point for this bike. And I think it's not that bad. If you're getting this bike for $1,400 with 26 amp hours of battery, that is actually pretty good. I'm gonna say that's a good deal. But don't expect this bike to feel very premium. It's not like a C3 Strom. It's nothing like that. It's not like the Rev 1 from Ride 1 Up. It's nothing similar to that. This is way budget compared to those. But if you just want a very cheap bike and you don't want to spend that much and you want a lot of battery range, like hands down, you can't go wrong with this. I would probably say the quality of this bike, I would say is probably like a 6.5 out of 10. Quality's not really there, but I will say that the headlights are at least like a 9 out of 10. These are really good headlights. The battery capacity, I would have to say, is like a 9.5 out of 10 because you don't really get bikes that have over 10 amp hours. Like 10 amp hours is kind of like the standard for 2023, but 26, it's really good. I can't give them any disrespect about the dual battery setup. And for the most part, this bike is comfortable and it turns pretty good. Like I'll hit this going pretty fast. I got my leg out just in case. Oh, and a quick update really quick. It's probably because we were coming up that overpass, but we're down to 2 battery bars. I was totally off when I started this video. I thought we were gonna be at 3 battery bars when we got to the house. Now I'm thinking we might be down to 1 battery bar by the time I get to the house. And I don't know what cells they have in here. I don't know if the website says. If it does, I'll put it up on the screen right now. But honestly, I don't think they have that information. So that might be something you might have to contact the company and ask them. Or better yet, maybe if I do have this bike a little longer, or I'll post a community post and I'll get a picture of the battery underneath and see what it says underneath. Sometimes it doesn't say the cells or anything like that. I'm very curious, but I'm not gonna open the battery up. If it has something underneath, cool, I'll check it out, but that's about it. Now, if this is a bike that you guys have thought about picking up, you're like, hey, that's the one, it has good range, good headlights, you know, I don't really care about all the other cons about the bike. Just keep in mind that you should be under, I would say, probably 6'2" to ride this bike. I think on their website, they do mention people can be taller than that, like 6'5" or 6'6". I don't recommend it. Now, pedaling this bike feels okay, but my legs do come up pretty high, and if I was 6'2" or more, I would feel very uncomfortable pedaling. And then also, if you are taller than me, you're gonna wanna push these handlebars way out, so they're not gonna be straight up and down, they're gonna be pushed more out because there's no room on this bike. I feel like there's like less reach. I like to kind of be like more of a moped style, kind of like leaned over just ever so slightly. I feel like with this, I'm kind of at an upright. But at the same time, that's probably a pro to a lot of you guys too, because you guys don't want to be hurting your back. I've had back problems like my whole life after, I think 4 years ago when I was out for work for 9 months. And I don't really have an issue when I'm on my Onyx or my Super 73 that has like the low rise handlebars. I don't feel any issues with it. So, I mean, it's kind of up to you on how your back is, but you will sit more upright. So that's all I'm saying. You guys might actually like the bike for that. Me personally, I just feel like it's just a little too cramped. I wish my legs were like maybe a little bit more out, like not like this, but I got kind of spoiled by the C3 Strom because it had a pedal position that was actually a little bit farther out from the bottom of the bike. So your feet were kind of like chilling out here, and it felt a little bit more easier to pedal. This one, you don't. And since my throttle's messed up on this, I could just actually completely let off the throttle, and I got instant cruise control. But your guys' throttle should be fixed. Mine just had a slight issue. I think it's just the spring inside that broke, because it does not want to snap back. I tried everything. I tried taking it off. I messed around with it for an hour, and then the company sent me some videos and stuff telling me what to do, and I was like, no, trust me, I already messed with it a lot more than I really wanted to. I just want to make the review by today because I got a lot of stuff to do, and the rain has been killing it. It actually rained while I was at work, but it stopped. Oh dang, I saw all of that. That was actually pretty nice. These headlights are working. Now this is a bad little area over here, Highway City. I don't really like to be over here too much, and I wish the bike would go a little bit faster than 24 miles per hour. And I think I've already talked about it, but this mile per hour is 100% accurate. I did it with GPS, and what it says on there is what it says. It's probably off like 0.3 or 0.5 miles per hour. It is pretty damn spot on. I actually think I did say that earlier in the video. It's kind of hard to remember when I've been at work for like 10 hours. Which, that's another thing. Let's get into some work stuff real quick. Oh, I thought someone was coming that way. I had to do a double take really quick. Man, work is bad. So, if you guys are true MVPs of this channel and follow all my stuff about work, I try not to be too negative. You know, I used to be super negative in the beginning of doing these YouTube videos, but then I know a lot of people are watching them now and I'm getting more traction, so I try not to be like terrible. But man, I will say, man, they changed our hours at work. We're staying open later. We lost less help, so now less people are scheduled at work. Hold on real quick. This is the section on my video where we go over all those bumps, and that's solid. I liked it. It was actually comfortable. But anyways, so we're staying open later and we lost less help. So right when 10 o'clock hits, when we used to close, 10 o'clock, we got 2 people in the store all together for the next 2 hours. That means I'm the manager, I'm getting carts outside. I'm the manager, I'm out there doing all the floor stuff. I have to count the last register. I have to count lotto at the end of the day. I only have 30 minutes after the store closes at 12 to get all that stuff done. I gotta sign my paperwork. I gotta count the money in the safe, the front safe, the last till. I gotta do all that. It's absolutely insane. Oh my God, that's a big dog. I'm glad you're behind a cage, buddy. But there's so much we gotta do. Like, I'm getting stressed. Like 100% I'm getting stressed out. I feel like I almost might have to take a stress leave like one of these days, because it's not doing it for me, you know, especially with YouTube. And then, you know, my health has been kind of up there, but I'm not going to dwell on that. I'm not going to make people feel sorry for me or anything. Like, I got to take care of myself. I've been trying to drink more water, and I need to buy some acid reflux stuff. That's what my doctor told me to get. So we'll do that one of these days. And this is probably going to be the last video that I do on this bike. It's not really a bike for me to keep. Like, I normally keep the bikes that are pretty up there and really expensive. Bikes that, you know, people aren't really going to buy, because I get it. You know, everyone's looking for that bike that's like $500 to $1,000. No one wants to spend a lot of money for an electric bike. Once you kind of get into electric bikes, then you realize spending more money is actually worth it. Like the C3 Strom, that bike, absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And I'm pretty sure that Rev 1 from Ride One Up, that bike is going to be absolutely fantastic too. It's literally a C3 Strom, but with suspension in the back, but it doesn't have the gearing in the back. So it's probably not going to be the best bike to pedal compared to the C3 Strom. That's going to be a better bike to pedal, but it doesn't have real suspension. So it's going to be a little bit more uncomfortable than the Ride One Up. But holy crap. Woo! Oh man. Glad we got these headlights on there, man. But some videos to look out for after this one. I have a bike. It's from a company called DYU. They sent me their King bike. It's a 750 watt. It's like a mountain bike style. It looks very nice. It's black and sleek. You guys are gonna love how it looks. But there's a little bit of cons to it that I was noticing before I even rode it. I haven't even done a mile on it yet. I think I got it charged and it's been sitting in my garage for the last week just because of rain, and I haven't got to it. And I had to finish this one first. But man, it's super nice, but it doesn't have fenders. It doesn't have turn signals. It doesn't have a rear brake light. And I think it's decently expensive. I think it's like, if I'm not mistaken, like $1,600 or $1,500. Same price as this. Actually, you can get this bike cheaper than you can that one. But it is a big fat tire mountain bike, which is like 26 inch. And obviously this is like a moped style 20 inch. So it's a little bit lower to the ground. Some might say this style is better. Some might say a mountain bike style is better. Just really kind of depends. That's why we kind of do these videos for you guys, you know. Everyone has a preference on what they like and what they don't like. I just think it's super funny when I say like all my stuff. Oh, there's a cop. I say all my stuff, like pros and cons, and I just keep it real with you guys, man. I'm always keeping it real. I'm always telling you guys how it is. It's funny when people come to buy my bikes and like, why don't you like this bike? I was like, go ride that one, go ride this one, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And sure enough, they come back. I see why in your video you said this one was better and this one sucked. I was like, yeah, the Aero Rider sucks to pedal compared to this bike. This bike is badass to pedal, but it just doesn't have the top speed that the Aero Rider has. The Kepler anyway is what I'm talking about. And I think the other bike was the Explorer from Traxxas. Traxxas actually makes some really good bikes. I was actually impressed. I've seen a lot of other people reviewing their bikes. They have like a moped style 20-inch bike. I actually would love to review that. So if they reach out to me, cool. But I don't think I sold a bike for them yet. So most of these companies work off of you guys buying these bikes. So what I'm trying to get at real quick is, if you guys want to save $200 on this, use my coupon code. Use the link down in the description, because if you guys do not use my link and you only use the coupon code, I get no commission whatsoever. But it lets the company know that, hey, I told you guys, hey, go buy this bike, and it's a good bike to buy. And it lets them know I sent you guys there, so they didn't waste their money on sending me a bike, if that makes sense. Because then if I don't make any sales for the company, then why would they want to send me a bike later down the road when they have a new bike? It only makes sense. That's why I was a little lost on why Ride One Up didn't want to send me their moped style bike, because they just sent me a check for over $1,000 for me selling their bikes for them. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you on that one, but I think they're just mad about my last review I did on the limited bike. So if you guys go check that out, you'll probably understand. I was so mad about the packaging with the bike being all scratched up, man. That's a pet peeve of mine. That's like your first impression of the bike. You spend $2,000 on a bike or whatever you get, and it has big old scratches and stuff on it. That pisses me off. But this is a bike, I'm talking about that really quick. It didn't have a single scratch on it. I do think it had one little nick actually on this side, and I don't know what it was from, but it's very small and not noticeable at all. But yeah, that's pretty much, the bike came like perfectly packaged. I didn't see a lot of foam in the package, but I mean, it survived and it didn't have any issues. All right, so when I get to the house really quick, let me see what our bars are at and what our range is at. Give me 1 second. All right, so 21.3 miles. We were all in pedal assist number 5. The way I got all this range in today's video is I did a review on it and I never charged the battery. So that's kind of how we got 21 miles. And we have 2 battery bars, and it's been at 2 battery bars for a hot minute. So I really think you guys would get a solid like 30 miles out of this bike if you just use the throttle only. And I kind of stick by that when I did my review video. So again, if you guys are looking at picking up the bike, check the links down in the description. I'll try to make a comment with a coupon code and all that kind of stuff, and I'll put it up on the screen so you guys can see it too. But yeah, if you guys want the bike, make sure to use my link, because then we can work with ENGWE to get more bikes in the future. Oh my God, I still haven't even taken the plastic off of here. I need to do that. All right, guys, see you in the next one. If you guys may be interested in this bike, hit me up. Hey, buddy, you like the ENGWE bike? You like it? You like it? You like it? Here, sit on it. There you go. Oh, do you like it? Oh my God, your feet are dirty. What the hell?